Welcome to the Tee Off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis.
This is how I like to start the show off. I like to spill some tea on our favorite athletes and some of the crazy situations they get themselves into. Today, we got to talk about none other than Scottie Pippen, or Scott as KD like to call him, six-time NBA champion, Chicago Bulls legend. And the guy who probably signed the worst contract in NBA history, if y'all don't remember from The Last Dance, in 1991, he signed an 8-year, $18 million contract. This was before there were like league minimums, maximum contract lengths, and to give you some perspective about how horrendous this contract was, in 1999, Scottie Pippen signed a 5-year, $67 million contract with the Houston Rockets. So why is a certified NBA legend lashing out and becoming the subject of our tee-off? It's pretty easy, actually. Scottie Pippen is promoting two things. The first is a new bourbon line, and the second is a book that is supposed to be his tell-all about being part of the Chicago Bulls dynasty and a little bit of a rebuttal to The Last Dance because he did not appreciate the way MJ portrayed him during the documentary. So what does Scottie do? The first is his little beef with KD. It's the least interesting part of this thing, but it should give us an idea where we need to start. So the first thing that happens for Scottie is that he's given a GQ interview. This GQ interview is supposed to be promoting this bourbon brand that we talked about. And he compares KD to LeBron James. And he said KD tried to do too much, and that's what lost him the game. He couldn't get his teammates engaged and elevate them the way LeBron James could. And LeBron James would have been able to, he implies this, take that Brooklyn Nets team further. KD responds, and his response is pretty good. He's like, isn't this guy Scott the same guy who refused to go back into the game because his coach drew up a last-second shot for a better shooter? All right, that's not false. Tony Kukoc got that last-second shot. He also hit that last-second shot, and the Chicago Bulls won that game while Scottie Pippen might have been throwing a tantrum on the bench. Now, this is where things get more interesting from this GQ interview. He then went on the Dan Patrick Show this Monday, to elaborate and double down on this comment. He says that Phil Jackson is a racist and that Phil Jackson drawing up that last-second play for Tony Kukoc was a way to elevate Tony Kukoc over Scottie Pippen, even though Michael Jordan was no longer there. This is during the one season he took off to go play baseball, and he felt like it was a racial move by Phil Jackson. He doubled down and said he has no problem saying Phil Jackson is a racist. Was Tony Kukoc a better shooter? Yes. Had Scottie missed a lot of shots to go ahead in that game? Yes. 1.8 seconds left. We frequently see the best player on the court sometimes being a decoy because everybody thinks you're going to shoot that shot. We saw MJ give Steve Kerr a final shot in a similar situation. He thinks Phil Jackson is a racist, and I can't speak on it. I don't know Phil Jackson, but someone that did, certified, as like he likes to say, I think is G6 classification, Shaq. He said, look, straight up, I don't want to get involved in other people's beef, but Phil is definitely not a racist. Quote is what he said. He just says that he thinks since Scottie's coming out with a book and a new drink, it's all marketing for Scottie. Right? Other thing he said, this was just a fun fact for everybody, is that Charles Barkley is a fake tough guy. He says Charles Barkley only gets tough with little white dudes and ain't never try to fight a black player or get tough with a black player unless the referee was already there to break it up. Funniest part is when Shaq came out to rebut him saying Phil Jackson is a racist, he co-signed what he said about Charles Barkley. That's just facts. Now, I will say this ain't the first time Phil Jackson has been in some hot water for racially insensitive comments. There was that time where he referred to LeBron James, Maverick Carter, etc. as LeBron James' little posse. Even though they're all businessmen, those are his business partners. It's not just like he got a bunch of his boys hanging around, following him everywhere like he's a rapper or an actor. LeBron checked him on that. A lot of people checked him on that. I don't know if that's enough for you all to believe Scottie's claims, but right now, it seems a little tenuous. But that was your tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis. Spill that tea, sis.